reignite your intuition to show to grow your intuitive self. Today I talk about a topic that might not be so popular, but hey, no children, no problem? My name is Angela and I'm a highly intuitive person by birth. What makes me the expert in supporting you regaining your intuition? As a psychic life coach, it is my passion to support people by becoming themselves. Trusting fully your intuition takes time and is a very individual process. I share with you my knowledge and hands-on strategies that I have developed to support you in your daily lifestyle. Are you keen to find out how about you and kids, or how about you in general, and would love to have a little support call? I offer you a free 30-minute call if you go to angelaheck.com, work with me, and on top you'll find the link to schedule. People who know me for a little while do know that I decided not to have my own children. Honestly, I have no clue when I decided that. I just always knew that I love all of them and I open my house for all children, but I don't think I need my own. Some people are very, very unhappy about this decision, because they think I would be a marvelous mom. I think I would be like every other mom. They do their best and that's it. What else can they do? I mean, they have not much chance to be different than who they are. Of course, my own mom, how to say that, might never really accept it. She tries to, and thanks goodness, last year, I think, or was it the year before? I don't remember. She went on a trip with a group and there was a lady, she was already in an age where you can't get any own children anymore, explained my mom how it is to be a woman who does not want to have children, because she did never wanted to have children as well. And my mom never trusted me how bad people can behave because of that topic. And that's why I decided to go online with it, due to the fact that we are absolutely allowed to decide not to have children. We are not obliged to be moms. And this lady explained my mom what she faced from people who became angry or told her she's not a good woman to not have children, she's an egoist, she's whatever. And by the end of the day, it was really not fun, but my mom realized, hey, I did not behave correctly. That does not change anything of the feelings that she has, that she would love to have me, to have children. And she has a very, very particular picture that she is having one child that she's pushing around and me beside her with a big belly. And I know that she would have loved to have this picture, but I just never wanted it. And actually it started very young, when I was, I'd say, in my teens, 15, 16, something like that. It started that when we passed the store with children's clothes, she was like, oh, one day I'm gonna buy children's clothes in there. Or even earlier, when my parents did buy a little bit a bigger house in Tuscany, as they would want to, first of all, to live there when they're getting older. They decided which rooms are mine, which rooms are my brother's, and I had in one room a double bed, and in the other room I had a bunk bed where you could pull out a third bed, which I understood as a very clear message. That's the children's room. I actually filled it up with books, many books, tons of books, loads of books, really, 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 really loads of books, which I think is pretty funny, because that was not the goal. Well, anyways, the point is, people who decide not to have children doesn't mean that they don't like or love children. Not at all. I think we should really be careful of judging them. Of course, I am someone who does not want to have children. Of course, I don't want to be judged. But it has to do with the consciousness that you carry within you. It doesn't mean that if you have children, you're not conscious about it. Oh, hell no. There is a lot of people out there who are very well aware of what they're doing when they're getting children. And they're absolutely awesome parents. They're absolutely great in what they do. And I love watching them, and sometimes I'm absolutely not jealous at all. Because, yeah, it's quite a job to be a mom or a dad. I know it myself. When I have children with me, I'm tired in the evening. It's not because they are bad, it's because they have this beautiful intensity of life. You know, they want to live. And I must admit, if a mom gets louder, if parents get loud for a while and, you know, just tell them to shut up or anything like this, I think that's totally okay. You know, that's totally okay if it's not every day and if it's not the only way how to talk to your child, because they have to learn that you can lose your nerves as well. You're a human and you're not a machine. And that's what they're going to face in their lives anyway later on, that they have to blend in partially. And that's where it starts with me, because I always imagine when someone says, yeah, but you will be a great mom, and then I imagine that my little one with 8, 9, 10, when they're not that little anymore, is coming home from school and telling me, my teacher told me that there is no unicorns and dwarfs and anything, and I will go straight ahead to the teacher and be like, dude, I can tell you one thing. I know that there is the unicorns and dwarfs and elves and everything. I can see it. Trust me, what's going to happen then, huh? I'd be somewhere in a mental hospital, and my poor child is taught that this is all a lie. So I think that's a pretty funny picture in my opinion. Well, it is what it is. If you don't want to have children, you face moments that you don't want to face. And I'd like to share one with you that I had last year. 2019 was not easy. It started ugly and it ended beautifully, but it was for everyone very intense. I'd say it was preparation for 2020 to realize that we are going to transform, to prepare us to transform. So last year I decided to do my first week of proper vacation as a real tourist at the beach. I never went on beach vacations, never before. I had to turn 39 to do so. Then I decided, well, if I'm going to Cyprus, I need a new bikini or anything that I can go swimming, because I love the water. And I went to a store that I know they have very good quality, and I love it, because I still think one bikini for 6 years on a decent price is better than 10 bikinis in 6 years, very cheap. And I don't know how they're made. So I went there and I choose a beautiful bikini. It took us like 1.5 hours or something, because I really was difficult in color and here and there and up and down, left and right. And it was really fun. And the lady was very gentle. And then someone, she was like, oh, you don't want to have children? And I said, no. And her answer was, how dare you are? And I looked at her like, excuse me? Besides the fact that I'm the customer. And I looked at her like, excuse me? Because she was very nice and kind, and all of a sudden, because I didn't want to have children, she was angry. And I said, well, wait a second. If I don't want to have children, that's my own decision. She said, yeah, but you can't, keep life back from coming. And I looked at her and I told her, yes, I can. I don't have to have children. It's my own decision. I can imagine that people who would love to have children have a hard time to understand how you can not want to have children. But that's my decision. That's really my decision. I know it's not their decision if they can't have children. And I know it's very, very hard to get this decision made by whom or whatever. But I was so shocked how emotional this person reacted. Then I looked at her and I was like, don't get me wrong, but first of all, you don't have to blame me for my own decision. And if there is any personal reason why it makes you angry because you would like to have children and you can't or anything, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but you do hurt mine too when you react like that. Because I'm not a bad person just because I don't want children. And she looked at me and then she realized probably what she's done, and she said, I'm sorry. And we had a really good talk afterwards. She was like, I didn't realize how I reacted. And I said, yeah, well, you did. And this is the point. No children, no problem doesn't mean that this is correct, but it's a decision. And it doesn't mean that if you don't have children, you don't have a problem. And it doesn't mean that people who don't want to have children don't like children. That's absolutely wrong. I know a lot of people who don't want children and they love children. And they are actually very good to be places where your kids can go. And most probably the adults will give them the same answer as you as parents do. But they just don't hear your answer. They just hear the answer of the other person because they're not your parents. And they're not having children. So they're probably kind of cool. At least cooler as your own parents. And I think these are things that we should look at it as well. When I was a child, we had a couple, they were teachers, and they had never had children. And all of us went there if we needed any support because they were so smart. And they gave us exactly the same answers as our parents did, or nearly exactly the same. So don't blame people if they made a decision. It's their decision. And yes, I can understand that it's hard for those who would love to have children and can't have children, but please be aware, no children doesn't mean no problem. But if you consciously decide not to have children, please others accept that, because that's okay. Because being so close to yourself means you're also very close to your intuition, and this decision is absolutely okay and fine and nice, and it works very well. So make sure that you are connected within you and that you do not judge easily if someone wants to say, no, it's not mine. Do what feels correct for you and do what feels fine with you. But don't blame them. Try to understand them and talk to them. A lot of people who don't want children have a reason. Even when they're rare, that there is out there someone who doesn't want to have children. Especially women get blamed very badly. The worst sentence I've ever heard was, a woman without a child is not a woman, never ever. And I can tell you one thing, I am a woman. So make sure that you are a little bit more conscious about how you start this topic with someone that decided not to have children. So no children doesn't mean no problem, but no children means it's okay, it's a decision. Are you ready for being you, no matter what? Good, then go to angelahack.com, work with me, schedule a free 30-minute call, and we just go on and give you some hints to start. Have a marvelous day, and thank you for listening.